Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Togba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello K. Lyndon Togba. My name is Finan Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo Village community along the Japanese Highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is here every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. So we bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
I choose to welcome you to today's edition of the program Inside the Print Media, where we bring you information pertaining to our country, Liberia, and the world at large. My name is K. Lyndon Togba, and it is such a pleasure to be seated in the driving seat, purposely aimed at informing our Liberian populations about the situations unfolding in Liberia. So let's just take a short break. When we come back, I begin giving you the summary of all of the newspapers in our possessions.
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.
Come back again. Before we begin with the headlines of all of the major newspaper we have within our possession, I want to extend a sincere apologize for coming up very lately. Our technical team has been behind the scene working to ensure that we bring you the program, but not at the regular time, because the program time is just 10 o'clock, but we are coming an hour above the normal time we normally represent this particular news presentation to you. So on this note, We want to sincerely apologize to you for coming out very lately. And let's begin reading the newspaper. Today we have with us in studio three newspaper. We have the Daily Observer newspaper. We have the Front Page Africa newspaper. We have the New Dawn newspaper. So these are the three newspapers we have with us in studio. Let's go quickly over to the Daily Observer newspaper and read out the headlines to you. There must be audit, Senator Johnson urges Bwaka. There must be audit, Senator Johnson urges Bwaka. So for those of you who are watching our live stream, please share our live stream. Invite others to share our live stream so that you can be informed about all of the major happenings taking place in Mama, Liberia. So let's go quickly. There must be audit. Senator Johnson urges Bwaka. Let's go to the story quickly. We are afraid for the commission of inquiry to be established and for the audit to take place, Senator Johnson said. It means something is wrong somewhere. Senator Prince Johnson of Nima County has urged President-elect Joseph M. Bwaka to audit the Wia-led government when seated in office in January 2024, so they can know as a government what is left and what they are going to be using to move forward. He said if President-elect does not audit the Wia-led government, the rescue missionary will need to give a second thought because 6 years is not long. Johnson called on Bwaka to prioritize an audit of the Wia-led government when he assumed office in January 2024, with the belief that conducting a thorough audit is essential for the new government to understand the state of affairs and make informed decisions. Senator Johnson's statement was a part of his Sunday, November 26, 2023 sermon at his church, Fifth Chapel, located off Lawford Street, Kingsville City. The sermon was the senator's first since he departed from Nima ahead of November 14 run-up elections and vowed not to return to Monrovia until Bwaka was announced the winner of the elections. Senator Johnson expressed concern that failure to audit the outgoing government could lead to the public backlash, emphasizing that public trust can be easily eroded if individuals within the new administration are seen as having close ties to the previous government without proper accountability process in place. Highlighting the issues of corruption, the Nima County political godfather noted that previous leaders used the lack of audit reports to evade scrutiny and suppress those who sought transparency. He believes that the fight against corruption must begin with a comprehensive audit to bring accountability to the forefront. While acknowledging some accomplishment of President Weah, Johnson expressed disappointment with the way the former president allegedly misused public funds for personal gain instead of focusing on national development. God changed this government because of massive corruption, destructions of lives of people who had the record for the audit, he said. They destroyed them in order to suppress us. The fight against corruption starts with an audit now. According to Senator Johnson, God blessed President George Weah and took him from a ghetto to upgrade the living standard of Liberian people, but he sat upon their heads and began merrymaking with their money and became rich rather than nationalized. With such recollections of bad governance and selfishness fresh in the minds of Liberian people, Johnson urged Bwaka-elect to prioritize the interests of the Liberian people and ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. Meanwhile, Johnson also called for the establishment of a commission of inquiry to investigate the mysterious death of auditors and other prominent figures in Liberian history. By uncovering the truth behind these incidents and examining the overall statement of affairs, Johnson believes the commissions could contribute to greater transparency and justice in the country. If we are afraid for the commission of inquiry to be established and for the audit to take place, he said, it means something is wrong somewhere. He commended Liberians for their resilience and dedication to safeguarding their votes and democratic rights during the elections. He encouraged the populace to stay vigilant and actively participate in the governance of their country. Even in the face of some regime element who stopped with force to take away the ballot boxes, you stood your ground and you were prepared to give up your lives, he added. Johnson also highlighted the influence of fellowship in shaping leaders' decisions. He stressed the importance of leaders maintaining their own thinking faculties and being guided by a strong moral compass, highlighting that a leader must be grounded in values and remain resolute in the face of challenges. He continued by saying that in Liberia, leaders are misled by followers, and in the ministries of governance, in any country, followership can destroy a person and build them up. But a leader must have his or her own mind and their own thinking faculties and put them to force in operation. The senator mentioned that a leader is like a ladder. The ladder has steps. If the steps are not lubricated to keep the ladder strong, if the rungs are rusty, it cannot help anyone to climb high. So the leader must know that Jesus is the key in his life, he said. He is the source of all we have. If you do not have Christ to lead you, you are in trouble and you will be misled by your own conscience. Saul was taken away from the throne and David was throned. According to him, destiny must be delayed, but destiny is not denied. No one can ever change it, and when God plans and decrees, no man can change it, he declared. I was with President Weah, but I left him because he is Weah. We are everything, he said. Everybody wants a job. A job will be given, but it will be based on competent people. Johnson also emphasized that a leader's faith and adherence to ethical principles are crucial for effective governance. He urged President-elect Bouaka to prioritize audit and commission of inquiry as they are essential steps towards building a more accountable and transparent government. This is how we move over to another headlines on the Daily Observer newspaper. Another era is on Liberia's national political horizon. Can Bouaka succeed where we have failed? That is one of the biggest questions that came lingering in the minds of a lot of Liberians, including those who didn't even vote for President-elect Joseph Bouaka. Let's give you the story. Another era downs in Liberia when former Vice President Joseph Bouaka takes the oath of office as President of the Republic of Liberia in January 2024. Undoubtedly, the new president's styles of governance would be a far cry from that of his predecessors, given the difference in their personalities. But whatever it is, we must be effective and successful in implementing policies designed to solve the nation's problems in 6 years, as promised, or face the voter draft on the day of reckoning in 2029. Any politician worth a grain of salt who thinks an understanding of national political landscape should realize that in view of the unbridled polarizations which today besets the nation, impactful policy implementation could be stalled in the absence of reconciliation and inclusion. As a consequence of the foregoing, the success or failure of the new administration hinges on the relevance recorded reconciliations on the driving board where its policies are being crafted. Former Vice President Joseph Bouaka was elected by Liberians to bring change to the nation. However, to actualize change in the midst of unprecedented prevailing disunity, which has left the nations more deeply divided than it has been in decades, reconciliation must be recalibrated and embraced. This term must not seen as an attempt to condone impunity. Far from it. Recalibrated and reconciliations and inclusions can proceed even as justice is being meted out to corrupt officials of government. This is the idea of bit and blow when the greater unificated President William Thornton successfully employed throughout the 26 years of his incumbency. The first order of business for the new administration should be to ascertain that national cover have enough funding to ensure continuity in the government's ability to honor its obligations to vendors and civil servants in order that there may be no lapses in salary and payments. Of course, this should be verified in the turnover note when the transition team conclude their deliberations. As the nation awaits a new administration and as the CDC-led government prepare to exit the corridors of power, after 6 years of service to the nation, I avail myself of this opportunity to acknowledge all Liberians that love of patronage is a paramount virtue of national unity. We must always cherish the pristine land above all political persuasion. With this being said, we will skip over to the New Dawn newspaper. Speaker battle intensifies as incoming lawmaker endorse Kofa's bid. I will read that again. Speaker battle intensifies as incoming lawmaker endorse Kofa's bid. Several incoming lawmakers, inclusive of those re-elected, have endorsed Councillor Fonaki Kofi bid to serve as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Re-elected during the October 10, 2023 presidential and legislative pool, Representative Kofi is a stalwart of the ruling coalitions of Democratic Change. He has been serving as deputy to the outgoing Speaker of the House of Representatives in Maryland County, Representative Buffer Simba, who is currently challenging his election result before the National Elections Commission. The latter is also a CDC stalwart. The battle has intensified for the top job on Capitol Hill as old and new lawmakers appear to be forming political forces to pick their new leadership. Councillor Kofa, who represents Grand Creek County Electoral District 2, has begun rolling his sleeves in a bid to succeed his boss Chambers as House of Representatives for the 55th legislature. He addressed the press briefly during a day-long retreat held in Virginia, Montserrat County on Sunday, 26 November 2023. Representative Kofi commended his colleagues for their unwavering support towards his quest to control the government. Councillor Kofi said his interest in running for the speakership is to be a floor fighter, citing his lot of experience as what he brings to the table. Kofa said he is confident of becoming the next speaker. Majority of the representatives at the retreat were from the ruling CDC, including Dixon Siebel, Frank Safoko, Edward Papi Flomo, all from Montserrat County. Others were James Cooley, Mumba Bridge Mensa, Samuel Enders, among others. They pledged their support to Representative Kofa. In a statement, the 40 lawmakers pledged their unwavering support to Representative Kofa, saying their interest is the idea of bringing check and balance in the 55th legislature. Deputy Speaker Kofa continues to rally more support as he faces competition with lawmakers from the incoming Unity Party-led administration of President-elect Joseph Yuman Bwaka. The UP Montserrat County Electoral District 11 Representative Richard Kuhn and collaborating political party Nimba County newly elected Representative Musa Hassan Bility are seeking the Speaker job. CPP supported the ruling CDC presidential bid in the runoff held on November 14, but it remains unclear if their collaboration will not play off in the bid for the speakership. With this being said, we skip over to another headlines on the New Dawn newspaper. CDC man charged in UP partisan death. I will read that again. CDC man charged in UP partisan death. Police in Monrovia have charged Coalitions of Democratic Change militant brigade member Lawrence K. Williams with murder for intentionally killing Unity Party partisans who were celebrating Ambassador Joseph Boakar's presidential victory. Following a police investigation into the mayhem, the Liberia National Police on Monday, 27 November 2023, charged Williams with multiple crimes including murder, aggravated assault, and recklessly endangering another person. The police said the accused criminally, purposely, and intentionally caused the death of 3 victims in persons of Peter Gray, Mariam Kroman, and Vanin Suleiman. The police reported that the horrific incident occurred on the night of 21 November 2023, hours after the National Elections Commission declared opposition leader Ambassador Boakar as the winner of the November 14 presidential runoff elections. The declaration sparked jubilations in Monrovia, during which UP partisans and supporters assembled at their party's headquarters before William allegedly rammed a vehicle through the victims. Police investigators say they established that defendant William is a strong supporter of the ruling CDC and a member of the militant brigade of the CDC. The police said Williams has accordingly associated with the organization for over 2 years. According to the police, defendant Williams' actions was intentional and indifferent to the values of human life, leaving the investigation with the conviction that there was indeed a motive. The police claim that there was an alleged monetary and psychological benefit which Williams must have allegedly received from an unidentified source he elected not to disclose. The police suggested that this led to defendant William executing the carnage on the innocent partisans and sympathizers of UP who were celebrating on the night of 21 November 2023 at about 10 p.m. Following the police investigation, a magistrate court in Monrovia has ordered defendant William arrest for the brutal incident outside the UP's headquarters. Defendant Williams is reported to have rammed a speeding vehicle through a crowd of UP supporters, gruesomely killing 3 persons and injuring 25 others. The Monrovia Magistrate Court order is arrest based on complaint filed by the Liberia National Police through the Ministry of Justice. You are hereby commanded to arrest the living body of Lawrence K. Williams to be identified and with forth bring him before the court to answer to the charge of murder, aggravated assault, and recklessly endangering of other persons. Magistrate L. Ben Bacon ordered his court officers. The court described defendant Williams' action as unlawful, wicked, and illegal, alleging that it violates Chapter 14, Section 14.1, 14.20, and 14.25 of the revised Penal Code of the Republic of Liberia. The court noted that defendant Williams deliberately drove an unnamed gray Hyundai SUV with its headlight switched off and the front passenger door open. The court said the accused drove into jubilant crowd of Unity partisans and sympathizers while they were celebrating their victory from the runoff election by neck at the headquarters of Unity Party. The LNP on Monday, 27 November 2023, charged and forwarded defendant Williams to the Monrovia City Court for the alleged death of 3 persons and injury of other persons, both males and female. According to the police charge sheet, the act of defendant Williams led to an angry mob consisting of partisans and sympathizers to loot and set ablaze the vehicle at the spot where it was abandoned by defendant Williams. The court noted that the victims were assisted by others who took him immediately to various hospitals, including John F. Kennedy Medical Center, Mawa Clinic, and other local clinics to seek prompt medical attention. The police indicated that defendant Williams could not convince the investigation of malfunctioning of the automatic gear of the vehicle, which he claimed was the cause of the carnage. The court document said upon absconding the scene with the aid of a motorcyclist identified as Adolphus Cooper, a student of AME University defendant Gray declined to have himself reported to the nearest police station. He allegedly tried convincing the motorcyclist to give him the amount of 280 USD so his location of residence could not be disclosed to anyone. The police noted that Section 9.1 of the Vehicle and Traffic Law requires that in the case of an incident involving death or serious bodily injury, the driver should immediately report himself or herself to the nearest police station, but the defendant wouldn't fail to do so. With this being said, this is how we will entertain a very short break. When we resume, we begin filling you in stories as it relates to the Front Page Africa newspaper. Sticking still with us as we keep informing you about all of the major developments about Liberia and the world at large.
Focal TV. Bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face-to-face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Tobo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia.
Hello there, my name is Get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Topa. My name is Greg Finan Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo Village community along the Japanese Highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. So we bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
The Front Page Africa newspaper. Over 200K stolen from EPS account. Suspect reportedly flees Liberia as officer plan protest. Over 200K stolen from EPS account. Suspect reportedly flees Liberia as officer plan protest. The administration of the Executive Protection Service, headed by Director Trokan Rabbit, has been entangled into a corruption scandal and a calculated plot to implicate and hold liable some board and management team members of the agency's development fund, which was backfire, bringing the institution to public disrepute. The EPS is an elite group of armed men and women providing security for the president, vice president, speaker, and all VIPs in the executive. They also provide security for foreign guests visiting the country. It can be recalled that in June 2018, over 800 agents of the EPS adopted a resolution under the Bannon Executive Protection Service Employees Development Fund to afford them the opportunities to accumulate savings and create credible facility for themselves, which they can obtain loans for productive and provident purposes at a fair interest rate of 5%. The fund was managed by a team of 5 persons, and its activities were being monitored by a team of 3 board members as observers and auditors. Those who headed the management team were James Herbst, Ellis Tokba, Tony Morris, James Pay, and Joseph Weir. The board members were Estelle P. Chie, chairperson, Emmanuel Wisser, and Stephen Morgan. Those comprising of the management team and board were elected by agents of the EPS who were referred to as stakeholders under the fund. Section 1 of the Constitution adopted by the agent says that in order for the EPS Employees Development Fund to achieve its intended goal and objective, the sum of 20 is charged as monthly due per member, and it is to be deducted from all agreed member monthly salary checked by the controller of the EPS and transferred to the fund bank account through its management team. Since then, more than 400,000 has been deposited in the fund's account at the UBA. The fund account number is 530105500002258 with title EPS Employees Development Fund. Last year, the chairman of the development fund, James Herb, absconded the country after it was established that 200,000 was illegally and suspiciously withdrawn from the account at UBA. Herb was a signatory to the account while Ellis Tokba and James P. were the remaining. Audit conducted. Prior to the incident, a hold was placed on the payment of 20 by EPS agent, allowing the conduct of an audit with a recommendation that disbursement be made to all stakeholders, agents ahead of the ushering of a new government in keeping with the bylaws and constitutions of the development fund. The audit was conducted by one Jeremiah N. Willie, Senior, and report submitted to Director Roberts on November 18, 2021. Among other things, the audit uncovered that 55,000 were withdrawn from the account by Herb unknown to the board and shareholders for the purchase of land for agents of the EPS and identify other administrative licenses on the part of the administration. Since the conduct of the audit, the board of the EPS Development Fund has been requesting the Robert-led administration to submit copies in order to inform all shareholders about the findings and outcome of the investigation. The board of EPS Employee Development Fund rights to ask administration indulgence into allow us to have copy of the audit report for perusal. A communication dated January 6, 2022 and addressed to Director Robert Unknown, the signature of the board chairperson, noted, but of the present, no copies have been submitted to the board and the shareholders. Requesting 6,000 from fund. Though the EPS Development Fund account at the UBA Bank was frozen by the administration when the act was uncovered, Director Robert requested the amount of 6,000 to be withdrawn from the same account to pay the auditor. By directive, the board and administration of the EPS Employee Development Fund must ensure the full payment of the audit fee charged by the auditor in amount of 6,000 as indicated in the attached reimbursement communication submitted by the auditor, Jeremiah M. Willis Sr., with immediate effect. Director Robert mandated in the letter dated November 15, 2021, and addressed to Madam Chi. The check was made and the money released. However, there are reports that the amount requested was not paid in full to the auditor. He reportedly received the amount of $1,500 for the audit carried out on the EPS Employees Development Fund. In keeping with recommendations from the audit, the board commenced disbursement to shareholders. About 70% payment has already been made to them, threatening protests. Despite the initial payment, aggrieved agents have been threatening to stage a protest ahead of the inaugurations of President and Vice President Joseph Boakai and Jeremiah Kun due to the delay in the payment of their remaining 30%. The remaining 30% is a little over 167,000. Documents in the possession of Front Page Africa revealed how the administration of EPS failed to exercise its supervision role towards the management of the fund, but now attempting to shift blame and ensure the prosecution of members of the board, especially its chairperson, Madam Esther Piche, for being allegedly responsible for the illegal transfer of over 200,000 from the account. Madam Che is the chief of training and firearm at the EPS. She is not a secretary to the EPS Employees Fund account. The role of the board. The role of the board of EPS Employees Development Fund, as stated in by law and constitution, includes to monitor the activities of the management team on all financial operations of the fund and receive monthly financial reports from the management team, peruse it, make all necessary corrections to make it accurate prior to quarterly report to the shareholders of the fund. The chairperson, who is also known as the chief administrator of the fund, approve all administrative financial documents such as credit form, monthly debtors listing, monthly, quarterly financial report, take note of all transition after made during the months of reconciliation purposes with all his or her team members. It also obligates the chairperson to request for the list of personnel suspended for the period of 1 month, terminated, resign, retire, in order to update the shareholders' investment and debtor account and ensure that there are operational documentable receipt for all expenses during each month. In keeping with her roles and responsibility, Madam Chiet on November 13, 2023, raised a red flag over the mysterious disappearance of over 200,000 from the account. It was established that only her and 2 others, former officials of the fund, were receiving blank outright on withdrawals and deposits from the account at the time it was ordered closed by the administration. Based upon a consensus, she also ensured that Herb was replaced by Emmanuel Wisse, a secretary to the fund bank account, to avoid further discrepancies and financial improprieties. Following the complaint filed, Interpol on November 7, 2022 issued a red alert for her, who is reported to be in Ghana. The role of EPS administration. By law and constitution of the EPS Employee Development Fund clearly recognizes the agent's administration serve as will and pleasures of the president, and as such, they shall exercise administrative authority over financial affairs of the fund. For the sake of guardianship, it mandates the administration to play an advisory role and serve as officials of the fund. It also obligates the administration to serve as internal prosecutor against offenses that contravene the fund by laws and standard operating procedures of the EPS. In the case of grievous offenses that require legal actions, the Constitution calls for the EPS to serve as plaintiff through the professional standard section to file lawsuit against any offenders. If further calls for all periodic financial reports to be channeled through the EPS administration for perusers, and administration who in turn convened a general meeting for the shareholder acknowledgement and discussion. The lapses. Despite these obligations, the administration of the EPA has failed to execute its assigned task and responsibility in playing a supervision role towards the management of the fund. Though reports have been provided by the Board of Management team to the administration over the years, it has not convened meetings to address or sought the acknowledgement of the shareholders. The administration has been reneged to establish a professional standard division to conduct internal investigation against shareholders and executives of the fund before extending any matter for further investigation by the police or Interpol. In keeping James on the payroll, on November 2, 2022, the administration of the EPS instituted stringent administrative measures against her following the audit. He was accused of abandoning duties since reports of his withdrawal of money from the phone bank broke out. It reached the attention of the administration that since November 2022 up to present, Agent James E.G. Hearn has failed to report to work without any official excuse. In view of the above, he is hereby administratively charged with abandonment of duty coupled with the lack of interest in the job and in his services are hereby suspended for time indefinite with immediate effect. A memo addressed to the Human Resource Department on the signature of Director Roberts on November 2, 2023 stated, however, investigation conducted shows the HERB has not reported to work since June 2023 instead of September 2022. Despite the termination of his service, payroll obtained from EPS shows that salary have been allotted to her from the periods of June 2022 August this year. Though it is not clear whether or not the prime suspect in the corruption saga the EPS has been receiving his salaries, the suspicion appearance of his name on separate payroll of the entity raises suspicion. The administration remains unanswerable on whether or not her salaries are being kept in the escrow account or no disbursement or withdrawal of his salaries has been made. Director Robert issued travel ban on the board chairperson as all members of the management team and requested their photographs to be displayed at various board points without conducting any internal investigation. This infringes on the right of freedom of movement of those banned as guaranteed under the 1986 Liberian Constitution, compromising the investigation. Several persons, including agents Agatha Nofolo, CEO of the EPS and other two signatories to the fund account and an employee of the UBA, were ongoing probed by Alice Neary of the Liberian National Police in connection to the alleged link to the saga. Agatha holds an account number of 53030500099138 at the same UBA in Liberia. A copy of the EPS Employees of Development Fund bank account statement reveals that the amount of $180,000 was paid to agencies from the account between January 26 to October 12, 2022. She was previously given loan on the fund to seek advanced medical treatment in Ghana following a period of protracted illness. Agatha and others were prevented from further submitting to the investigation based upon the alleged order of some higher up within the EPS, including O.C. Williams. William, who is not an agent of the EPS, normally claims to be a security consultant and special assistant to Director Roberts. He was abroad when the scandal broke out at the agency, but arrived 2 days later after being briefed by his boss. He has been accused of allegedly threatening officials managing the fund, including the late Tony Morris, who was the credit manager. Williams reportedly collected relevant documents surrounding the funds from Mr. Morris prior to his demise. Diverting administration cost. Money deducted from suspended agents of those facing administrative actions are reportedly transferred to the EPS Employee Development Fund account in violation of by laws and constitution. These costs, which amount to several thousands of United States dollars, are only withdrawn from the account based upon alleged audit of Director Roberts. Shareholders of the fund agreed to do business with the UBA through a check system and the transfer from development fund account to shareholder savings account. However, the two systems applied were criminally charged to you, the right and Leo unknown to the shareholders and the bed board. This prompted her to reportedly withdraw the over $200,000 from the account. While investigations surrounding the saga is ongoing, legal analysts of the EPS identified as Stephen E. Morgan has requested by the administration to remove James Herb as an administrator of the article of incorporation of the fund and replace with the agency of control of Phillips, now unknown to the board and other shareholders. But the request has not been adhered up to present. When contacted via telephone, Director Robert denied the involvement of any members of the administration of EPS to the escape of Herb from the country. He said neither him or any person from the administration is signatory to the fund account at the bank. He, however, justified that by law and constitution, the fund gives the administration the authority to prosecute, and as such, people are getting afraid that they could be investigated and prosecuted. The money, they had signatories. We were nowhere near anything like that. This is how we skip over to another headlines. House likely to hold Finance Minister Samuel Tway in contempt for delay to submit 2024 national budget. The House of Representatives has summoned the Minister of Finance and Development Planning Samuel D. Tway to appear before the August bodies on Tuesday, November 28, 2023 at 10 a.m. to explain why the 2024 national budget is yet to be submitted to the House. Despite repeated citation, the finance minister has failed to appear, raising concern about transparency and accountability in financial matters. The House views this repeated absence as matter of contempt and demands that the minister show cause for such persistent non-compliance with the legislative summon. Minister Tway has been summoned to state why he should not be held in contempt by the House for his failure to appear before it after several citations. The scheduled appearance is set to take place in full plenary on Tuesday, providing an opportunity for ministers to engage in a constructive dialogue with members of the House and address concerns raised regarding the budgetary issue. The House emphasizes the importance of the finance minister present to ensure a thorough examination of financial matters crucial to the nation's well-being. The House representative reaffirmed its commitment to upholding the democratic principle, transparency, and accountability in the governance process. Members of the House took the decision on Monday, November 27, 2023, in its leadership meeting, when the Minister of Finance was invited but didn't show up to write an excuse letter, something the lawmaker termed as disrespectful and having the propensity to impede their legislative function. With this being said, this is how we will call this news presentation a day. Thanks to all of our many viewers, listeners who have been monitoring the show since the start of this presentation up to this present. My name is K. Lyndon Togba. Thanks to all of you for your participation. This is how I would choose to call your day and return on tomorrow, at which time we will be bringing you another fascinating edition of the program Inside the Print Media on Focal Online TV. Thanks to all of you, and thanks to the management of Focal Online TV for providing us the opportunity, and thanks to Liberian for always tuning in. This is what I want you to do to encourage your friend to always stick and stay with Focal Online TV, because this is the pride of District Tech Team, and this is the most independent news in the country, Liberia. Thanks to all of you for your listening role, and thanks to me for being there to bring the news presentations to you as well.